Hi Aries, welcome to your March 2017 General Tarot Reading. It's Raina here. So you're going to have your solar return at the end of March. The sun goes into Aries on March 20th, and then a week later the new moon is going to be in that sign as well. And so that's a time, so that means like the first 3 weeks of the month, you may still be feeling a little bit kind of sleepy and, not as motivated, and then you're going to be raring to go. It's the astrological new year, so all of us have an opportunity to set intentions for the upcoming year, but you have it as your actual solar return, so that's awesome too. And then there's going to be a full moon mid-month on March 12th, and that will be in Virgo. And Virgo is your 6th house of health. So it's a good time for like detoxing. And it's also a very good time to kind of, you may even see things that need to be healed. This is the full moon is a time of healing, if I'm not mistaken. Well, things can kind of come up. It's more like a purging, I guess I would call it. And also for work issues, because the 6th house can be that, you may see, you may find out something about your company, your workplace, or you may end a certain place where you're working. Maybe you're going to go to a new department or something along those lines. So yeah. And of course, you're also going to have that Venus retrograde, and it starts out in your sign. So, and then it goes into the 12th house, and that could be like about karmic relationships. And when it's in the 1st house, Venus, you may be rethinking your image. You may even be thinking about your body, and kind of how you can look better. And so that may indirectly relate to diet and exercise, okay? And even when Venus goes into the 12th house, it can help you if you have any addictions or anything like that. So it might all be tied in together with that full moon, to be honest with you. And I'm doing a slightly different spread than I normally do, but it's pretty much the same. And this can cover any issue that's going on with you. Okay. The centerpiece of this particular reading, and by the way, you have 3 major arcana cards that are connected to transformation. So in addition to this being the month of your solar return, this can be a very important time for you apart from that, or this may be reiterating that, because the central theme of March is the Tower card. The typical thing to say about it is that it's some kind of sudden event. That kind of, now it can clarify things, but in a very upsetting way. The thing about Aries is that you've had a transit of Uranus in Aries. I always think that Uranus should rule the Tower card, and I think it's Mars, not sure about that. But there's a suddenness and unpredictability with the Tower card that people get nervous about. But it's a catalyst for change. And it's when people have dragged their feet about something. I feel like it's not necessarily just any kind of, traumatic or upsetting event. To me, it's more like something that you tried to sweep under the rug. and eventually you have to face it. And a crisis, a crisis situation. However, you have had a transit of Uranus in Aries, and it's going to be there until about 2019. I don't know when it went into Aries. I think it was like about 2011 or something like that. But ever since it's been there, you may have felt, now this is also because you have Pluto in Capricorn, so that's kind of like a nice little 1-2 punch there. And that has its own, upsetting the apple cart tendencies too. Pluto is not a warm and fuzzy kind of an influence either. You're having a square from your sun or your rising sign to that Pluto, that transiting Pluto in Capricorn. But the Uranus transit, because it's in Aries, it's like gasoline and fire. Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius. And there's always that wild card element with Uranus. And so for you, I feel that this is not incompatible with Aries, that you can handle it because you are a very spontaneous person yourself. And so, people who are spontaneous can handle change much better than the average person because they're always like one step ahead, but also because they're not stick in the muds. They are always capable of reacting. Whereas like a fixed sign, for instance, something like a Taurus or a Scorpio might be a lot more, like upset at things that change. But you're stimulated by it. So I think this will be a stimulating influence for you. This could affect any area of your life. This could affect your marriage. This could affect your work situation. Interestingly, when I look at the past influences, the past situations, we get a card like the Magician. And this means that your, alignment with the idea of being a conscious co-creator has led you to this situation. Because I think, to tell you the truth, I think a lot of Aries people already know these principles that are expressed by the law of attraction, which I would kind of tie into the Magician card, or alchemy is another one, because you are, you notice this is the number one card. You're the number one house, the number one sign. The number one in numerology deals with self and independence, and that's what you are. So for this card is really important in the work sense for those of you who still were in the matrix and believed that you had to hold on to a certain job for whatever reason. There may have been outer reasons that made you feel that way. And something has kind of like, a catalyst has come along to free you. That's what this has really done. The Tower has freed you. But you were already free. That's the beautiful thing. You made that shift, and you're able to truly embrace the idea of being worthy of something and going after your good, and not being apologetic for wanting that. And so it has led you to find a quick release from something. It could have been a long-term marriage, a 20-year marriage, that for whatever reason, and it could be different for every one of you, how this ends, how this relationship ends. And interestingly, you know, I was just thinking about your 7th house. You have Jupiter transiting it in Libra. So I think that it may be more related to your work life than anything else, because in actuality, you have Capricorn, you know, you have Pluto in that 10th house. So you're, you know, uber ambitious right now, but there may be forces that, you know, counter that, that even no matter how much you try to be, you know, gung-ho about something, it may not be enough, because you're here to expand. You're here to learn other lessons, to learn how to let go, perhaps. The other influences, we have an outside influence of the 6 of Pentacles. There may be an earth sign individual who is playing a role in all of this, and that would be a Taurus, Capricorn. That's always a big one for you, is a Capricorn, and a Virgo. Or a Virgo, I should say. And this is a card of, you see he's holding the scales, of fairness, of getting what you're worth. So that may have been a bone of contention in anything to do with your work life. Maybe you were realizing that you were being underpaid, maybe you were being overworked, and you said that's not fair. And somebody retaliated, but you had the last laugh. You know, because you already knew you had the power. You were empowered. And as I say, I think a lot of Aries people already get that. And, you know, when you can, you tend to work for yourself. It's not really, it's something that is pleasant, I would say, for most Aries people to work for other people. In your private life, any kind of relationship that suddenly is disbanded probably was a long time coming. And well, and you could say that probably for every relationship that seems like it's suddenly ending, but the parties were not really paying attention. And Aries is one of those signs that's notorious for being totally oblivious to what is going on under their nose. They tend to not kind of tune into these things. And so they can, you know, have a partner who is unhappy, and they would not really acknowledge that because it's not something that they see, you know. The small details of life, the nuances of life can sometimes totally escape them until it's too late. And so that's what the Tower is. It's about something that happens, you know, because it's been festering for a long time. So it's actually a blessing in disguise. The higher message is the 8 of Wands. And so this almost, as a higher message, I think is a reassurance that you will hear some good news. Perhaps during this Venus retrograde, there are going to be, even though it's not a Mercury retrograde, but the communications, you may hear from somebody from your past. And it may make you very happy to hear from that person. So I'm just letting you know about this. And this is, because this is a message from the spiritual dimension by virtue of its position, it could be saying, you know, do not despair. You know, you're going to have something very nice happen very shortly related to love. So the cards at the bottom, you know, this is what's coming in. The Death card indicates that change is inevitable, and you may try to kind of what do you call it, postpone it, prevent it, but it's going to happen because whatever situation, whether it's a business agreement or in your private life, it has probably run its course. And so, you know, trying to maintain it is probably going to just prolong the agony. And the more you can just, you know, be hands off and not try to, you know, interfere with things and see where they go. You never know. This could also relate to the sign of Scorpio too, by the way. And there can be an issue about some kind of, now this could be coming from the outside because this is like an external influence. So this could be an air sign individual, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, who is figuring into things. Could be talking about that situation. Like, for instance, if you are trying to decide, maybe that good news is about you receiving another job offer and you can't decide. That could be possibly what's going on. But whatever is happening, be aware that, because the person has a blindfold, that you may be refusing to see certain aspects of it that you should see in order for it to really, in order to make the best decision possible. And that will, you know, do good things for you. And the outcome is the Seven of Wands. So this is about really kind of fending off some sort of attack, and you know, by extension, I could even see the other person maybe trying to put it on you if they were the ones that did something that was discovered. They may try to project it onto you and say it's all your fault, and you have to kind of let them know that you know, you're going to stand up for yourself. And same thing in the workplace. You know, if somebody is not paying you what you're worth or asking you to stay late and make the same amount or even take a cut in pay, you know, that's the kind of thing where you might be like saying, nope, I'm not going to do it. But you're also, I think that you're also going to have this kind of good news that's going to make you realize that you have nothing to lose, because you are going to be able to do things on your own. Maybe this is all just kind of the transition that's represented by that Death card. And so you're going to be just temporarily holding things down until you finally are victorious and you can be totally independent of whatever outer forces are trying to come at you, you know. Oh, so that's very interesting, Aries. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy birthday to those of you that are born in the first decan of, you know, the first 10 days of Aries. And good luck to you. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month. Bye.